There we go. Uh, let's get started on the one for today, though. Um, we're working on the island of Siddhartha. Oops, there we go. I don't know if this outline is thick enough for what I want. Might make it a little bit thicker. Need a little thick boy. There we go. Thick boy. I had a pretty good day today. I talked with the rest of Absurd, and we did a little brainstorming on some stories. Kind of just laughed and giggled. We talked for probably about a solid 45 minutes about Drake and Kendrick Lamar and who's gonna win this little rap battle competition they're having. And I'm kind of excited to see how this goes. To be honest, pretty excited to see how it goes. My dog is going crazy downstairs right now. Sounds like he's dying of thirst or something. A good pet owner would go downstairs and check on him. But considering there's other people in this house right now, I'm just gonna be lazy and I'm just let them figure it out. Cause I'm a real piece of work. That's why. I have not thought of any lore or backstory of any kind for Siddhartha, whatsoever. So honestly, whatever I come up with today is what I'm gonna have. Like I'm gonna be on the spot with it because I really don't think they're gonna end up going here. Just being blatantly honest, I highly doubt that they're gonna go here because this is gonna be kind of towards the top of the map, and most of the plot is probably gonna be in the lower half of the map. Um, just there's most the only reason I can see them going over here is just I wonder what's over there, so let's go and look. Like literally just them running from the plot, trying to make a little divergence, trying to just look around just out of curiosity. There's really not even any major landmarks to pull them over here. There's a cave with a kind of a monstrous mouth, and there's two cities. Well, there's three cities, major cities, but just don't see why they would come here. Not to say that if they come here there won't be anything for them, but as of right now, I can say for sure there's not any major plot lines here yet. Um, but there's also some ideas that I've had in my head that I haven't really fleshed out that I might make happen here. Honestly, I think there might be a really pivotal battle that might have happened here during the War of Ravens and Foxes, which is important because one of my players is playing a war veteran, so I might put something pivotal here for them, but at the moment this is just kind of some filler section I can throw in maybe some monster fight, some cool monster fights if they come here. Maybe they might find some more lore. Honestly, this might not even be a bad place to have a maybe make one of these cities a massive historical city that keeps a lot of records and whatnot, so that they can come and find some lore and kind of get some information about the bad guys and what happened after they escaped from the devastation. Um, After the players escaped from the devastation. And I also was thinking about yesterday. We talked about the Crimson Rust, But I don't think I want it to be crimson. I think I want it to be purple because I don't want people to think that it's like Scarlet Rot from Elder Ring. To be honest, like that's the main reason. But also purple doesn't make that much sense. I still need to do some research on Rust and like exactly how Rust forms and its different variations and stuff. Honestly, turquoise is also a color I was interested in for the Rust color, but it might end up having to be red anyway because that makes sense with the blood and like it just it's simple, easy, it ties in. But in the game, there's this thing called willpower, and willpower is how you use your different skills and things of that nature. I think that the rust might take willpower away, so that's going to limit like how many skills you can use, and like how often you can use your skills. I think that might be a pretty good handicap, or not handicap, sorry, but like a pretty good negative for them. But nothing's set in stone until it's in the game. I could also have it be more of like a kind of like a soft magic situation where like it doesn't really have any rules to it. Like it's just very devastating, but it's kind of just up to the game master or the lore master to figure out like what effect it's gonna have on each player. Like I can almost see it being like some kind of like psychedelic that like warps with the characters' minds and like gives them like maybe like disadvantage on their attacks and stuff, but also like maybe they start to see things and like they start to like not trust each other and whatnot, and like it's really like it's a thing where like it starts to tear apart the entire group because of this like vile like remnants of war that's been left out like on their homeland. I don't know. I got some working ideas for it. I just really got to figure out like what exactly I want this to do for the story, and that's gonna help me figure out what it actually should do. Got the coastline finished. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. This map is way smaller than the one that we did yesterday, and it's gonna be pretty nice to be able to get this thing done. This is probably gonna be a pretty short stream because I don't think this is gonna take us 2 hours like it did yesterday. Hour and a half tops. I'm calling it now. Yeah, I need these to be hills. There we go. And then we throw in a little grass. I think one of the first comics that we're gonna release. Um, I guess I should probably explain that as well. Absurd is like a up and coming comic book slash gaming company that me and my friends started. Like I want to say like 4 years ago, we like officially were like we're doing this, but like we just started maybe like a year and a half ago, with, like really actually putting some effort behind it and like actually trying to like get the thing going. And yeah, so I think our first comic book that we're gonna release is gonna be like an omnibus of each character's backstory in the war, because basically Lore Tactics is in a universe that also is being shared by my comic book series. Um, so I think each character is going to have origin story in that universe, and we're going to release that first. It's going to be one of the first comics we release. We're working on some other stuff as well in some other people's universes, in other timelines, and all that wibbly wobbly stuff. But I think one of the first ones we're gonna release is the uh, origin plot line. And origins are like a thing in the game as well. But I think we're also gonna release like the character origin stories and then like some other origins as well. And kind of been thinking about how that's gonna work because it can either be during this campaign, these comics are gonna be like taking place during the campaign and like what they up to right before it starts, or it could be when they were younger during the war. Um, I mean, it could possibly also like be strange if it was like after the campaign kind of situation. Would be interesting. Like, obviously, we wouldn't release that until the end of the campaign, but like if we waited, that might be interesting to have some epilogues. Not a really big fan of epilogues, so to be honest, like if it's important, tell me while the story's happening. Don't tell me after the heroes settle down. Always been my mindset. But there are right now there are 5 players for the campaign. Um, there might be more later, just depending. But right now there's 5, so there'll be 5 origins in those comics, and might do one for the bad guys as well. We'll have to see whether people enjoy them or not. But that might be an interesting thing to do later on. This is moving super quick. Like even I'm shocked how quickly this is. I don't know why I'm shocked. Like I don't draw every day. Like I don't know how quickly I can like just make a couple lines. But I just suspect these live streams to take like 5 hours to finish one map. I went to like I was in middle school. I went to a class every day, like a fine arts class after school, to try to like improve art and stuff. Because in my mind, as a young pup, I was a prodigy. Um, but like in that class, they would kind of like teach us how to draw quickly but still effectively. So now like I can't help but like draw try to draw fast because for a year I just spent every day drawing as quickly as possible, like learning fine art and how to do fine art in a like professional setting and like putting pedal to the metal and being able to pump out art very quickly. Mind you, I was the oldest person in that class, and I was like, I want to say like 13, 14. Like we were not like 17-year-olds getting ready to go into the workforce. Like we were just little pups, and they were teaching us how to use art effectively for your future careers and stuff. It was crazy. Like we had no business acting like we were going to be professional artists. I mean, I guess for me, it's apparently it stuck with me. Now I'm trying to make it happen. But I imagine everybody else didn't, because I don't think anybody else in that class was really like super eager to like do art all the time. Everybody else is kind of like more talented than I was. I was already pretty fast as it was, and I had a really crazy imagination as a kid. Some really crazy stuff. Also stole a lot of art too as a kid. Like not stealing as in like I would like pass it off as my own. I would always like be like, yeah, no, I got inspiration from this thing, but like I would never try to make something original. I would just like if I saw something cool, I would just try to like copy that. And then I started reading One Piece, and I was like, okay, I want to do this. This is awesome, and that's what made me realize I need to start making my own designs though if I wanted to actually be successful at it. That city took a lot longer than the rest of them. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe this is gonna take longer. Probably not, but maybe it will take longer than an hour and 30 minutes. I should have started a timer so I could have checked it. Now I gotta finish it even earlier than an hour and 30. Otherwise, I'm gonna be wrong. There's not many villages here. Let's just add one over here. The other map had like villages on top of villages on top of villages, and this one is just kind of devoid of cities and life. And well, there's cities, but like there's not really that many villages. Also started trying to rework like the undead monster manual in a way. I probably didn't switch it up that much. Like I'm still using like your basic like shades and whites and all that stuff and hellhounds. Well, hellhounds aren't like undead, but like I'm using hellhounds as undead, and I could see it in a way where they could be undead because they're kind of just fucking mutts from hell, and I imagine they're just made of like dog souls and shit. But I've been trying to rework monsters to try to kind of make them like a little bit different, a little bit more spicy for the game. The first, like the lowest level undead that I made was these things called Unbound, and they're basically just like hands and feet and eyeballs from like dead like warriors and just people who were like murdered and stuff, and like now they serve their like puppet master like and the hands basically like grapple people and they can shoot like spiritual like bullets and stuff like sometimes the idea for the spirit bullets anyway, so it's not super broken because these are supposed to be the weakest monsters, like undead monsters. Basically, like if you take 5 hands and they all like 4 of them die and the last hand like takes their souls and you get like 1 soul per finger, like per finger on the hand, it can like shoot the other souls as like a spirit bullet attack. Definitely inspired by Yu Yu Hakusho. It's one of my favorite animes, but I kind of want to like twist it and make it kind of more evil and corrupt. They can shoot off like spiritual bullets. um but most of the time, the hands can just do like grapples and like hold people down. The feet can kind of like jump in the air and do a stomp and do like a little bit of damage, like 2 points of damage, like nothing crazy. And then the eyeballs can like watch stuff and like if you get enough eyeballs together, they can like congeal together and make kind of like a specter. And the specters can like try to take control of a person. Like they basically have like tendrils. They're just eyeballs with tendrils, and they'll like wrap their tendrils around the person and like dig a hole where like their eyes are, and like sink that eye into their skull and take over like the body and stuff. Because I'm a sick person like that, so that's the idea I had. And those are supposed to be the weakest creatures. So like they're weak, but they can also come together to make like stronger monsters and stuff like that. Um, and I'm kind of super excited to use them in the campaign because I feel like the way they're set up, they'll always like be a threat of some kind, especially if there's like hundreds and hundreds of them in droves. Like I could really see a scene where like the party's like walking through a town and it's like really tight corners and streetways and there's like cars and stuff blocking the road and like it's just this mist and like they can't hear anything. It's almost like eerily like silent, and then they just see like a hand crawl across the ground and then another and another and another, and then they just start to fall out of the sky and they're just everywhere, and like they're trying to like make like 10 grapple checks to turn as they run away because there's just too many to fight, and they're like being pulled down. They're getting like blasts shot at them, and then it becomes like this really interesting chase scene of like, can they escape the hands? And like the eyes are coordinating the hands, and the feet are like kind of like trying to like hurt them as they go, while the hands are trying to stop them from moving. I feel like that'll be a really fun scene and change up like combat because I don't think that'll be a situation of them like killing 1,000 hands. Like they're gonna have to escape. So it's like combat is now like hold out, last, get somewhere safe, and bunker down. I've been really trying to plan that kind of stuff out, like changing up combat, making it different than just like here's a fight. And I don't know why I made this building in a city look like a fucking some kind of like sci-fi catch-up bottle. I don't know what the hell's going on here, but yeah, I've been trying to like figure out how to change up combat to make it a little bit more dynamic because when we used to play D&D, combat would always end up just being like, okay, here's the fight, here's who you're fighting, and everybody would just kind of stay in one spot. Maybe like you'd have like a rogue who might like move like once to get a better position of some kind. Maybe you might like throw a barrel and block their sight and they might move or something stupid like that. But people didn't really like they didn't move, they didn't interact with like the environment that much. It was kind of just like a unrealistic all out brawl and assault in the streets every time they like had a combat. And that might have just been me being an unexperienced DM, like really bad at like making things realistic and interesting. But hopefully I'm doing better with that. Hopefully when these books are like released and other people can play them, hopefully they can take what I've done and improve upon it. And also if they are new and unexperienced like I was, they can still have some pretty interesting and dynamic conflicts that feel different and like kind of keep people interested. I also think the first combat of the official campaign is going to be a all-out brawl between the guilds and um, the main villain family. Like I think I just want to just straight up let everybody know who the enemy is and how strong they are right out the gate. So we have that fear in the back of our minds. Um, I haven't figured out how they're gonna escape, to be honest, and I don't feel like I'm supposed to. I feel like that's their job, and now I think I have a backup plan in case it gets a little too hairy. But I don't want to. I don't want to just throw an escape for them. I want them to try to find their own way, and if they can't, then I'll help them out. But I think I have that planned. I don't want to spoil it just yet because I'm hoping if you're watching this live stream, you're intrigued enough to watch the campaign. Um, I'm kind of excited for it. I'm also super nervous because we're gonna be broadcasting it. We're not like Critical Role or anything, so it's not gonna be like thousands of people are gonna be watching it. But like, I want people to be entertained. I want them to enjoy themselves as well, even though they might not be playing with us. They are still watching. They're still gonna be on for the journey. I want everyone to have a really good time, and it's kind of nerve wracking because you got to make a story that thousands of people may possibly enjoy if we get that many people watching. Um, but even if it's just like 10 people watch, I still want everyone to have a really great time and enjoy themselves, and I want it to mean something to them, you know? Um, AKA just adding more stress to my plate for no reason. Um, but I think it's going to be pretty good. So far, every time we play, everyone's saying they're having a good time with it. They seem pretty excited, and I've come to the conclusion that um, there is definitely a lot of like me making the game fun, like not like trying to toot my own horn, like I'm just the best game master ever, but like there's definitely a lot of like the way I run a game, I set up plots and things like that. But the beauty of us selling it is that since we're the ones that made it, when we start selling the game, I can just have the pre-written campaigns and people can still have fun with that stuff. So it's not like the game will be hindered just because it's a lot of like story ideas and things that I'm implementing. That's still like a part of the package that we sell. So that's still a plus. And I can just tell you, I have a newfound respect for anybody who makes any type of game whatsoever, not just AAA. uh, digital games that have the best graphics. If you just make a simple board game, like the amount of effort and work and like triple plays and double plays you have to make and like thinking out the game, and you have to play by yourself and then with other people, and then you have to like make sure that you're not stealing anything from anyone else, and you have to make sure you're not like making anything offensive, and you also have to make it interesting and dynamic, and it has to be able to be replayed by the same person like hundreds of times and not lose any of that fun. Like it's a way more difficult process than I thought it would be. It's been really fun, but it also like without a doubt it's a headache. Um, but it's an appreciated headache. It's worth it, even if it just comes down to the point where it's just like me and my friends play it, and anyone else who like touches it thinks it's stupid or doesn't have a good time. Like we enjoy it so much, it's worth it. We like making characters with it. We feel like it's a really good game, and we're super excited to like give it to people. So it's been worth it for sure. I would not trade my time trying to make this game for anything. I'm just kind of proud of myself for just making a game that's fun from scratch. Basically, at least for the core mechanics, like entirely by myself. Now, obviously, I borrowed a lot of like concepts and ideas from like Dungeons and Dragons and like Pathfinder and stuff like that, and like Warhammer and like but even still, like built the entire lore, the gameplay aspects, reworked all the classes, made up origins, came up with the willpower system, and like added a whole bunch of other things that I haven't really seen in any other games. But I'm sure there's probably things that are pretty close to them in other games, but I don't know what those would be or what games those are. I did try to look and double check and just make sure I wasn't thinking it, but I did not find anything. One of my favorite things about Lore Tactics is when you get a crit. Like in Dungeons and Dragons, a crit would be double damage, which is really cool because you kind of like feel like you're putting down the enemy, or like you have a chance of like killing them a lot easier. Um, Doing like that one hit kill or like soloing a villain. But I wanted to make it to where like when you get a crit, it's like a lasting effect for the entire combat, because that's the one thing about crits in Dungeons and Dragons that I feel like you don't get. Is like a crit kind of just it has this moment where like it comes and it goes, and it's like it could mean a lot or it might not mean anything, because you could roll a one on your damage dice and you end up with like a crit where you only did 2 damage. Is kind of stupid. So I added in like fatal wounds. So like you cut someone's like arm or leg, or maybe like stab them in like the gut or something, and it would give them some kind of nerf. Like maybe they might lose half their speed. Maybe they might only be able to do a max of like one attack per turn. Maybe they might lose their bonus action, stuff like that. They might lose some willpower, so they can't cast as many like skills and stuff. Um, and I feel like that just changes the entire combat for my point of view and for their point of view. Like they might start to get their momentum back if they lost their momentum and they were getting beat. Or on my side, it might be a situation where like I'm overpowering them and it makes me nervous, but then they get this wound off on like a main bad guy. So now I need to try to like balance that out because they start to get the upper hand and things. So I feel like it adds a new dynamic of fun that I'm really excited to see play out. We haven't used any wounds yet, like when we're doing our test gameplay. So I'm not sure if they're like too broken or like if they're just kind of a little off. But let's make this like a golden forest or something. I don't know. It's kind of wild, but I kind of want like every forest to be a different color now. like low key, but let's just try out this golden forest. Let's see what we can get happening here. But yeah, we still have a lot of stuff to try out and test and make sure that works. That's why we like haven't like really posted about like the game and like shown us playing it or like show how to build a character in there or anything like that, because there's still a lot of things we need to test. We need to test out all the different origins, which give you like different items and abilities. We need to test out all of the skills to make sure all of them work properly and the text is correct. We need to try out different types of magic. Um, there's a lot of different types of magic in the game, like not necessarily like in Dungeons and Dragons, which I keep saying it. It's going to be so much of me saying Dungeons and Dragons. I really don't want it to be. Um, but in Dungeons and Dragons, you have like your different schools, and then that's pretty much the end of like magic. Like you have your different types of magical schools, and they do different types of spells, and then that's the end of that. You pick your spells, you get your spell slots, and you cast your spells when it's time to do magic, and you roll to hit, just like if you're using a weapon, and that's the end of that. And I kind of felt like that doesn't feel very magic. It just feels like a sword with flashy lights. Like there's no real like magical vibe to AdWords in Dungeons and Dragons. So for lore tactics, it's called quick alchemy, and then you have it's light alchemy and then heavy alchemy. And how heavy alchemy is a very drawn out process. You have to carve in all of the runes and the lines, and you have to use like command circles and all this stuff. And you still need that with light alchemy, but it's like magical essence of like the arcane in the air, like you're carving it out of magic in the air, and you're using these command circles in the air, and it's super quick in like one turn. And the system is basically made to where people can come in and make their own spells, and like all you really need to do is go to your lore master and be like, hey, I came up with this spell combination. Is it okay if I do this? And as long as they give you the okay, you made yourself a new spell. And I feel like that's important if you're making magic for a game. Is there needs to be a way for people to customize it, because in the real world you would customize your magic. Like people customize their science, they change up science, they switch it around to pull off new and amazing things. And magic is science, and science is magic in a way. So like you need to have a way to where like players can make their own spells, they can do their own things, they can also corrupt spells to make them do different things, they can boost spells to make them stronger, and maybe even there's a way to like a nerf a spell to make it weaker but more manageable. Like stuff like that's important to make magic feel like magic, in my personal opinion. So that was something I really was trying to like get to happen, and I feel like I pulled it off. I feel like I pulled it off. But there's also like other types of magics, like potion crafting, and that's very heavy on like fighting monsters and taking like their body parts to make new potions and finding like different plants and stuff. So making it to where like magic casters have a real like incentive to like get in combat, get in the fight, and push for fights, because it's usually just like a fighter kind of character just pushing for fights. But this incentivizes magic people to get more into the nitty gritty, and like kind of like gives them more of like a role play option. Like it'd be cool if you're like not that strong of a spellcaster, but you make potions for your party. And how potions work right now is there's regular potions and stuff like that players just don't really like, they're not capable of making because it's like too long of a process. But there's these things called high potions that were made by dwarves, to where you make this magical water that can contain the spell for a certain amount of time, and then you cast a spell into the water and it will hold the spell for you. So if you're a weaker spellcaster, like a healer or something like that, where you have spells but you don't have as many as like a regular caster would, you can still prep a lot of stuff in advance if you know you're going to like a big fight, I'd still be just as useful as that caster, just in a different way, to where you're throwing spells, you're giving spells to your fellow party members, and they're throwing your like potions and stuff and causing these effects, and it just gives you a different dynamic of like how to play the game. And then there's like obviously there's like special ways to enchant tools and whatnot and weapons with spells, and then there's like these things called masks, which are made from the hides of monsters, which give you like the abilities of the creature, and also can like sometimes give you like you can have a temporary form of that creature. And I think the last really big one that I feel like is going to be really fun is the. Sorry, I completely forgot. I was literally just thinking of it. There's actually two other ones that are going to be pretty interesting. One is like a tattoo system to where you can use tattoos to boost your physical abilities, while also being able to like boost your fellow party members' physical abilities, use elemental effects like fire and water and stuff like that on top of other stuff. So you can start to maybe like get some tattoos and infuse like make like a fireball that has like maybe some air in it to like cause some kind of like combustion of some kind, like crazy like stuff that you can like think up in your mind. People much more creative than me can think up in their mind. But there's that, and then there's also scripts, which are like holy texts and scriptures and stuff. Obviously, like what a script would be, and they're basically they just function like what a hex or curse or like a blessing would in like Dungeons and Dragons, where you get like an extra dice to roll um for certain things, or like an enemy might have to roll extra dice to decrease their attack and stuff. So basically, just like a type of magic that's like very targeted to like nerfing and buffing your allies or enemies. Um, which all that's all a lot. Like those are so many different things, and like I can see if you're starting the game, that seems like overwhelming. But if you're just starting, I would say it still works, because you would just go with regular spells, regular alchemy, quick alchemy at that. You probably wouldn't be trying to make like massive effects with um heavy alchemy, and you probably just go with regular spells, and that's fine. But like when you're on your like fifth playthrough and you want to do like a mage, and you're like, well, I would really like to do like a different type of magic, you have that option, and you can still customize it a lot. Or you could just customize, like make your own spells with light alchemy. Like there's so many options for you as a spellcaster. But I also wanted like the other classes to have a lot of options as well. And I feel like there's a lot of options as a healer to do like different types of magic that can help you with healing, but also like buffing and nerfing your party, and then like healing. Obviously, I already said healing. But like also just like summoning creatures that can help you, and things like that, and getting like plants and like teleportation, and like there's so many things you can do, and like you can like a healer would probably have a better shot of like going up to creatures, taking their hide and making like masks with magical effects, and then handing it to like other people in their party. But I also wanted like the brawlers and like the juggernauts, which juggernauts are obviously like the tanks, and then the brawlers are like the physical fighters, like get up personally in your face. Um, I wanted them to have a lot of options. So there's like a lot of different armors and shields have all these different effects, and like they can reduce damage and they can reduce allies' damage. And then the brawlers just have so many weapon options. And then they can also put the enchantments on the weapons, or have someone put the enchantments on the weapons. And they can use tattoos. Like tattoos can be used by anybody. They just have to be put on in like some kind of way and infused with magical essence. Um, there's just so many options. And then like strikers, which are like the people who use guns and bows, they have like all these different bullet options, and they can use spells as well. And like I feel like it's just so I I like the fact that there's options for people to change up how they play. so it's not just consistently repetitive. I feel like that's the most exciting part about the entire game to me. Um, and then there's also a class called the Overlords, which are strictly about buffing and nerfing. Like that's like their whole shtick. Like healers heal you. Obviously, casters are about magic, and then strikers about long range, keeping distance, like tracking and all that stuff. Juggernauts are about defense and protection. Brawlers are about doing damage and staying in the fight. But Overlords are all about leadership, getting your team in the fight, getting you guys on the right path, taking your enemies down a peg so they can be taken down for good. Um, I feel like it's a really nice dynamic altogether on how that works. And I'm kind of I really love the game. Um, I was extremely nervous about it before me and my group of friends started playing it on a consistent basis because I was like, I just don't know if this game is going to be any good. I feel like this being like a little bit of like a desert environment might be kind of cool. I might go for that. Let's let's see what that looks like. But I was really nervous about the game before me and my friends started playing it, and like started telling me about how much fun they were having with it, and how it's good, and like obviously it's not the best game they've ever played in their life. Like I'm not gonna like try to sell you on that. Like this is the game that beats all games, and this is the end all be all. But like they truly seem to be enjoying it. They ask me all the time about it when we're playing next. What's next to come? Can they do this combination? Can they do that combination? Is this okay? Is that okay? They seem to be really invested. And at first, I was just like, well, they're invested because they're my friends and they're trying to be supportive. But at this point, they're making plans without me. They're like making their own strategies and plot lines. They're like, I want to make my own game. I got well, like one of my friends, his name's Chris, and he is. I'm fairly confident that he's going to be the next person you see to run a game. He's planning on making like whole menus for his like campaigns so we can try food out, and he's like gonna like incorporate his own like food based items, and like he's really big into like food, obviously. If that wasn't obvious, there you go. He's definitely very big into food. Um, but like he's planning on making his own campaign. I just realized that this is way closer to green than this is to like a sand, but like it's fine. I'm not gonna change it now. Like it's not that deep. So I'm just gonna leave it as it is. But yeah, like they're totally into it. Some more than others, but like everyone's kind of like everyone has their feet in it for sure. One of our other friends, Sean, he's planning on turning like his entire basement into like a section for us to be able to play the game regularly. So that's why we're like super confident that we're gonna be getting the games to you guys on a regular basis because everybody's kind of gearing up for like the long haul for this campaign and like just bringing the game every week and just like getting stuck into it and I just hope we deliver for you guys. I hope we bring you some really good content. I hope we make it enjoyable to the best that we possibly can. Um, I guess I'm just gonna turn this whole little peninsula into like a little situation. Yeah, I'm just gonna turn this into a little bit more desert environment. I don't I don't really know what color vibe I'm going for this at all. I'm just I'm just picking colors and going with it. So we're just gonna go with the flow, and hopefully it looks good. Um, the plan is once we finish this campaign, we're gonna release the campaign book, and it'll have all these maps in it with all the lore and all the backstory for whoever's running the games on like what happened during the war of Raven and Foxes. Um, so I guess whoever's in charge of the game better buy the book, or if you buy the book for somebody so they can run the game because you really wanted to play it, A, thank you. B, don't look inside because you're going to learn everything. We're not going to hold back on any information. Won't be any like third party websites you need to go to figure out the like. I'm gonna give you every answer in the book. So yeah, it's also kind of why I have to have like all the comics done before we release it, so people can actually read it before they get the game. I don't know why I'm assuming like people are just gonna be coming out in droves to buy the book for this game, but a man can hope, can he? He can dream a better dream. They say. Shark Boy and Lava Girl for anybody who's old enough to remember that movie. Where that quote came from. Yep, that looks good enough for me. Good enough for me. But yeah, we're very excited about the game. I'm very proud of the game. Um, hopefully, hopefully it's as good as I'm thinking it is. Not that I think it's like the best. Do I think it's better than Dungeons and Dragons? Yes, but that's because I made it. It's most definitely not. But like, if I don't love it more than Dungeons and Dragons, who will? You know, it's definitely good. It's definitely just as fun. I would say, like you can have just as much fun, just as much of a good time. I think the lore and the opportunities to like play in different settings is what's really gonna set it apart. Um, I really, when I was making the game, I had my entire mindset was about the player and like how they'd be able to run a game, but it was like, I guess subconsciously I was also thinking about how the lore master would have to run the game and like how to not make that a headache for them, which is kind of like that mission was not achieved because like your players come to you constantly with like different ideas for like skills and stuff that they're going to try to use, and like all these different spells they're going to be trying to craft, and like all these different places they want to go on this giant map of a world, and all these different races, and like you can do like multi-racing so you can combine two different races, and like this is going to be an absolute headache for whoever's running the game, but they also have a lot of freedom themselves to do a lot of things that they might not have the option to do inside of Dungeons and Dragons. Like really can't have like an airship, like a warship uh in the sky, like a giant like helium balloon warship in Dungeons and Dragons. Like that's not really an option. But here it's an option. You can have medieval meet 20th century, and you can have cavemen fighting, armies of robots. And if I did it properly, which I think I did, it all makes sense with lore in a way. Um, like it all functions together and all flows together in a way that you can logically understand it going that way. Doesn't necessarily mean like it's the most realistic thing that would happen, but it's definitely not out of the realm of possibility. And I feel like that's just a really good option for people to have. Be able to switch up the settings, switch up the time period, switch up, your ideologies and your beliefs. This is the world where Thor, Odin are real. This is the world where Jesus is real, where Buddha is real. I mean, obviously, there's people in the world that believe all those people are real, and there's people that don't believe those people are real, and you can believe whatever you want to believe. I'm just saying, here you can believe whatever you want to believe because there is a path and an aspect for that, and it's just I feel like it's pretty nice to have those options. Pretty nice. I really need to shut up and hurry up. Otherwise, I'm going to lose this bet and I'm going to end up being about 30 minutes off from my target time period. I think we're going to do a lot of like turquoise buildings on this one. Because on the last one, we had a lot of we had a lot of red stuff going on, and I'd like to try to keep different colors for each island, like set of buildings, so we know where we're at, kind of just off first glance. Even though like each island's gonna have like a giant like text at the bottom telling us what island we're on, but even still, it'd be nice to be able to figure out exactly where we're at all times. Let's see here. First color I pick is red. I just said I was gonna go with turquoise, but I gotta fill in all this wood stuff. So bear with me. Do 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 do. I forgot to put some black down there. That is my fault. There's one more right here. There we go. Alrighty. Let's do a little turquoise actually. That's not turquoise. Learn your colors. Learn your colors, damn it. Let's see. I guess we'll go ahead and make all the villages turquoise as well. Well, why not? Uh, hot biscuits. Thank you. Thank you for your tribute. Okay, let's get some turquoise into this stuff here as well. There we go. Maybe make that turquoise. Well, sure. And then that right there. Let's not overdo it. So a little bit of darker stuff right here. Yeah, that's not bad at all. Of a color. Make that dark. Can't win them all. Let's get like a light gray for these castles and stuff. Let's do light gray on the inside, and then we'll do dark gray for the towers, just to kind of break it up a little bit. I don't know why I'm talking like I'm doing some really deep art, like theory right now. Like I'm just doing the bare basic colors. Not much different than what we did on the very last one, but hey, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. That's what they say. And I'm obliged to listen to them. Let's get like a little, yeah, that's nice. All right, and then we'll make the rest of like the accent colors, like golden on these things. Let's fix a little bit of that, and then let's get that. Let's do a little bit of go. Take that. Yeah, that works. This ain't looking completely awful. No, it's not too bad. It's not too bad. I've seen worse maps for sure. That is a fact. This could definitely be better, but I've definitely seen worse. Let's just do a little dark. Yeah, there we go. Let's not make it too complicated. Keep it nice, keep it classy. And then we always got to do our little spirals. No, that's too dark. We need something a little bit lighter if we're gonna make it pop out. Probably won't pop out too much, but it doesn't hurt. There might be some kid one day that's just like reading a magazine. He might just be super close to it and just looking very intently at all this stuff. So let me make sure that I do the best I possibly can for that guy, for that kiddo. Let me just tell you, kiddo, thank you for supporting the great cause. I appreciate your support, and I'll never forget what you did for this country. I make it sound like he went to war or something. He just read about the sea. Did the bare basics. I'm giving him so much credit. Yeah, I don't know how we got to the point where we had this mustard bottle over here, but I don't really want to put in the effort to think about how to fix it. So I'm just gonna lean into it. I also need to color the mountains, but I think I might beat that hour in 30 minutes. I think I'm on track. I really just need to add the names of most of this major stuff, and we're pretty much close to being done. Yeah. This is a very like muted like location for sure. How's that look? That's really interesting. That's absolutely not the color that I'm gonna go with, but like it's very interesting. Alright, so let's see here. We need to add a little bit of color to let's go like a really there we go. And then we're gonna need to color the we're gonna need to change the color on these mountains to something. Should I just keep leaning into this kind of vibe? Or should I like switch up the color entirely? Let's see, how's that look? It's not terrible. What's the opposite look like? Yeah, that looks awful. I could also just use some gray this wall. Doesn't look terrible. I also want to try. I wouldn't mind having like a little bit of a red mountain or something. That's way too close to those trees. I need it a lot deeper than that. How's that look? That might be too red. It's not really terrible though, to be just blatantly honest. It's not the worst thing ever. Like the Red Scourge Mountains or something. It's not bad. And then maybe just bring a little bit of that highlight in, like just for the ridges and stuff. Just kind of bring it back down a bit. Nope, it's not the right color. Don't really hate the red. I don't love the red either. Yeah, I think I want to try to make this red work. I want to make it work. First things first, I'm going to need some white. And I'm going to need to try to blend it and see what I can do with this. I'm going to test it down here. And once I've finished blending it in down here, I will go around the edges and kind of get rid of it behind the mountain. And then I'm also just gonna, I just want this to kind of be like a red tint, so I'm gonna just go back in with a little bit of that and try to make it look a bit nicer of a red. Try to bring back some of that high red in there. Once again, don't know why I'm trying to make it sound like this is a super crazy, like important art technique. Like this is just me just scribbling. Like this is important art, folks. Look it. Remember the name. Absurd the Art Slayer. Alright. So let's just get rid of some of this right here behind. If I do go with the red, I'm calling this the Meat Canyon. Why? Because I've been watching a lot of Creepcast with Wendigoon and Meat Canyon, but also because like it's a red like cave with like this mouth situation going on. Like you know what's happening here. People getting eaten alive. That's obvious. All right, let's see. Let's see what that looks like. That's not the worst thing ever. And if I lower the opacity, it might not be that bad at all. Let's just give it a shot. Why don't I just see what it looks like? And if it looks really bad, I could do something else. But if it looks great, then we just landed on pure gold. I hope we landed on pure gold. Ooh, that's not good at all. Let's do this. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Let me switch to the red, and now we're just gonna try to bring in some of that red. Try to get some red going here. Try to make this map look as pretty as possible. Within reason, anyway. Alright, and then we need to cut our edges in the back. That was easy. Alright, let me get a little bit of white going back here, and then I just need to kind of blend this in. Let's blend that. Get that nice and smooth in there. Yeah, there we go. I do know how to actually properly blend things in. It just takes too long. I've already talked about. I have speed issues. I'm a two pump chump when it comes to art. Don't judge me. Don't you look at me like that. Who says endurance is important? Probably like every lady that's ever existed, most likely. All right, let's see how that looks. Let me take a color. If we bring this down, yeah, honestly, that's not bad. Like if we bring this down, let's see what's like the Goldilocks color. Okay, so we're at Probably too much here for sure. 70 isn't bad. This is also not bad. We can blend this in to make this flow better with the land right here. I think maybe 65. Let's go at 65. 65 is not bad. And then let's combine those layers. And let's see what it looks like if we just try to blend this in a little bit. If we just do a little bit of blending. What does that look like? Like, does that clear up our problem? And it's really just like, it's not even really like a problem. It's just like you can tell like these are not like exactly the same color. I'm just trying to see if we can maybe make that a little bit harder to see in some places, some areas. Looks like it's working. Yeah, looks like it's working. Yeah, kind of like that. I need to add it back here as well. There we go. Oh yeah, I'm quite enjoying that, to be honest. Got like 15 minutes before I lose. Can I do it? Well, Handy Manny would say yes. So let's give it the old college try. Why is the water purple, you might ask? Why not is the real question. Why not? And the answer is there is no answer. There's no reason not to make it purple. If you don't like purple, you're just a tyrant. That's what it is. You need to stop beating your coworkers just because they ate the last yogurt in the refrigerator. Like buy another one. Buy another one, James. Stop being a jackass. Yep, I'm talking to you. Yeah, yep. I found out. Everyone's been talking. They said your socks smell like hot ass too. That's gotta be the worst thing ever to like walk in the break room and everyone's having a good conversation and you walk in, they just stop and everyone just kind of goes a separate way. Like, man, yikes. I'm not like the most popular person at all, but like I've not had to go into the break room and had everybody stop talking to me. High school, I definitely like have walked in a couple rooms where people just kind of like, oh, it's time to leave for sure. Yeah, but it's been a while since I've had that experience, and I gotta say, and my heart goes out to anybody who's not like very well liked at work and they kind of get like ostracized. Like, man, I'm sorry. I am sorry for your rough lifestyle. Truly, it'll get better one day though. It will. I didn't add any shadows this time around to the trees. So let me do that real quick. I've got like an extra like 10 minutes or so before I lose my hour and 30-minute bet that I made with myself that no one is enforcing whatsoever. Bam, bam. Let's get this back in there. How's that looking? It's looking kind of wild, that purple. See if I can lower that down a little bit. It's a much more acceptable purple for sure. I'll have to do some cleaning here. I didn't want to clean, just adding extra time. Race. I got to race to the finish. Wow, I'm super sloppy when I'm coloring stuff, aren't I? I'm not cleaning up the entire edge of this map though, that's for damn sure. Looks like I just gotta clean up the edges over here. So I'll go ahead and put in the extra effort for now. Don't get used to it though. I'm mainly talking to myself to not get used to it. I don't want to make myself believe that this is going to be a regular thing where we just start doing things cleanly. The sloppier the better, that's my motto. If she's not talking slop, she ain't talking. It's my new album cover. Sure, that'll do it. Add a little bit of this darker color here and there. Babushka. Alright, let's see. Nope, that's too much blend. Yeah, that should be enough. There we go, there we go. Everybody knows, here we go, here we go. Yep, I'd say that's gonna have to do it right there. Let's bring that opacity down a little bit. Maybe put it on 75. Oh, almost forgot to add a little bit of color right here. Sure, let's go with purple. Bam. Keep it classy, keep it sweet. Alright, let's add ourselves some text. Hold on, what the hell are we adding first? Did I name any of this? No. Whoa. What font did I use yesterday? Yep. Let me just get a little black action going on. A little white. Maybe lower that down a little bit. Increase the size. There we go. Actually, I need to just really quickly. I just want to see what kind of font I was using for. Okay, got it. Okay. All right. First of all, let's change it to that. Let's take that opacity down to 3. And let's make this a bit smaller, shall we? Yeah, let's put it above it. Maybe make it a little bit smaller. Let's shoot for like 30. Seems like some perfect placement to me. The Golden Forest. Seems like perfect placement to me. Oh, wait. I don't know which type of eye it is, but I know for sure it's a there we go. We'll go with that. Yeah. This one is pretty big, so I feel like it's supposed to be important of some kind. There we go. Let's go to Blood Ridge. It's not a bad name. It's not great either. Honey Hill. Why is it called Honey Hill? I don't know. That's my job, though, isn't it? Make some more for this shit at some point. I'll come up with some stuff. If they ever go to Siddhartha, I'll come up with some stuff. But if not, then you know, I'll save the lore for some other stuff. Do I name it Psy and then like clone like a cyclone, or do I name it Cyclone as in like a copy? That's the question. We'll just go with clone as like a copy, and we'll just use that as a play on words of like cyclone, and we'll just have it be like a city full of hurricanes or full of tornadoes. Sorry. All right, Dragon Veil. I think that's everything important. We'll call this Gutted Bay, and we'll increase the size of that a little bit. There we go. Gutted Bay. Maybe decrease the size a little. Let's put it on like 70. There we go. I think that's it for Siddhartha. Let me combine the layers of all the other stuff. And yeah, I think that's it. Another one down. Tomorrow we're gonna be doing what's next? Featherland. We're doing Featherland next. This is where the shit went down during the war. I have some lore for this place. Um, yeah, I can't wait. I'm excited, and yeah, I'll see y'all tomorrow. Peace out, folks. Have a good night. God bless you, and thank you for watching. If you were